Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
Oh, sorry about that, boys. Had a brief mishap there, but welcome to I'll Hang Up and Listen. Sabres lose 4-1 to the Arizona Coyotes. I'll repeat that. The Buffalo Sabres lost a National Hockey League game to the Arizona Coyotes, 1 day removed from announcing that they are going back to the infamous goat head jersey. And I'm just really irritated with just, I don't even just want to say effort, but just the lack of urgency in their game tonight. And Don Granado said it best in the post game. He doesn't care what the numbers say. You know how Buffalo played. They didn't come ready to play in the way they needed to win a hockey game tonight. And if you look at all three of Arizona's goals, that is a perfect example of a team that was out to win a hockey game, throwing pucks to the net and scoring goals. In ways that they're not going to make a highlight reel. They're not going to make ESPN or Sports Center top 10. They're just throwing pucks on net and hoping for the best, getting bodies to the net, making it difficult for Comrie to see pucks, and that's what they did tonight. That's absolutely what they did tonight. And Don Granado said it best. This is like an exact depiction, he said, of kind of the way their previous day's practice went. He didn't like the way they practiced the day before, and today showed it. So with that being said, this was the absolute definition of a stinker. You have Arizona's social media team dunking on you, posting memes of a Zamboni towing an L, obviously hinting at what transpired between the second and third period, the Zamboni breaking down and one Zamboni having to tow the other Zamboni to get it off the ice, causing a 20-minute delay, a 40-minute break in between periods, which is very unheard of. I mean, now we've seen everything. A Zamboni towing a Zamboni. Only here in Buffalo, right? So I'm joined by producer Steve, as always. Whether you win, lose, or whatever, we're here to talk about it. And Steve, just your thoughts on tonight's loss and the emotions you felt during it, especially in that third period when it was absolutely prevalent that they needed to get bodies to the net and pucks to the net, and they just kept cycling and just trying to be too cute.
That was just fundamentally unacceptable from top to bottom, start to finish. You can make all the excuses you want that the decor's far from 100%. We don't even think Labushkin and Dahlin are even at 100%. You can make excuses for 3 unfortunate bounces that led to 3 unfortunate goals. I don't fucking care. The Arizona Coyotes are a team that are propped up by pure charity in the form of Arizona State and Gary fucking Bettman. in. This is a team that is so inept at being a team. The city in which they called home kicked them the fuck out of their arena. This is a team with gun to my head. I know 6 players by name, and everyone else, I couldn't tell you what position they play, when they got drafted, what teams they played for before. These are fucking ghosts. And you can't fucking call yourself a contender. You can't even call yourself a team in the hunt. You can't call yourself a team on the rise and lose a game like that to a fucking team like that. And I'm not mad just because you lost. I'm not a big baby. Like, you're going to lose games. But every single player in that locker room that calls themselves a leader on this team should want to punch themselves in the fucking face for playing the way you did tonight. Every single one of them should be just as fucking mad as I am, because that was just unacceptable from top to bottom, start to finish. And again, whatever. Unlucky bounces, you didn't have the puck luck. I don't fucking care. You don't let a team that fucking inept come into your barn and make you look like the laughingstock of the NHL. That's a fucking disgrace. There's no sugarcoating this one. You don't just brush this one off and move on to the next one. You got to look inward on this one. This was fucking bad. This was just bad.
Yep.
And everyone should feel bad.
Yep.
And I'm sorry if that's not a positive vibe. I know we love the vibes lately, but like, that was just, no, you need to think critically about the choices you made tonight and fucking never make those decisions again.
Yeah, you got to sit.
God damn.
You got to sit in the corner and think this one out. I watched that third period where you go down by 2. It's getting like the 10-minute mark, and the Sabres are still just trying to be cute. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of their it was working well. I thought Power looked pretty good tonight in terms of, puck possession and, advancing the puck up ice. And he had a couple keep-ins, and, I thought Power looked good. But regardless, you're trying to work the puck to the middle of the ice, where Arizona is really making it hard for you in the offensive zone. Just get pucks on the outside into the point and just get them on net. Have 2 bodies there. Like, I don't understand. And when we pull the goalie, man, like, Jesus Christ, personally for me, I thought Granato should have pulled the goalie before they got that icing call. I thought when you had possession in the zone, you're down by 2, you should have pulled the goalie with about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Because then what happens? You get that timeout, you pull the goalie, you don't gain possession, the puck ends up in your net. I'm on the side, I lean on the side of get possession of the puck, and that icing probably doesn't happen if you have a 6-man out there. You had possession. Get your goalie out of the net. Like, I don't know. That's just me. But that being said, like, I don't know, man. I just watching them continuously cycle the puck, trying to look for that perfect opportunity. And on Tage Thompson had a great opportunity there. He made a great move. I think he lost the puck on his stick. I think, was it maybe Dolly or not Dolly? It was either Dolly or Tuck was there. Wasn't able to get his stick on the puck after.
When he did that little back pass, I think that was actually Owen Power. Honestly, that was driving.
It was a Power. Yeah.
Yeah, Power was right there on the doorstep. Yeah.
But yeah, that's type of game Owen Power plays. He plays a very confident game. He's not afraid to go to the net, even as a defenseman. Like, I just, you're trying to cycle the puck to draw them in so you can free up the middle of that ice. And it's just, for me, what are you guys doing? Like you're down by 2, get pucks on net, do exactly what Arizona did to start the game. Like, Arizona understands what type of a hockey team they are. They're not a good hockey team. They're not a team that's going to cycle the puck, beat you by cycling the puck and beat you in transition. They're a team that's going to get pucks to the net and hope it goes off a skate or a stick, which is precisely what happened to them tonight. They played with a sense of urgency. We didn't play with any urgency tonight. You just dropped 2 straight, granted against 2 very good hockey teams in Carolina and Tampa Bay. And you come back home, you should feel more comfortable here. And you laid an egg. You laid an egg. In Comrie again, I mean, you can't fault him for any of that tonight. Like, what is he supposed to do on those goals? Arizona's putting pucks on net, and they're getting good deflections. They're like, the thing is, you don't have to play with an edge in order to go to the net and stay in front. Sam Reinhart made his money in this league by standing in front of the net and deflecting pucks and picking up loose pucks and scoring. Like look at Jeff Skinner. That's how he plays his game. He plays his game with a little bit of an edge. Like he sits in front of that, and that's how he's scored over 30 of his 40 goals that year with Eichel. He was just parked in front of the net, just picking up trash, deflecting pucks, and knocking in rebounds like that. That's what you have to do in this league. You're not going to score every time in transition or again off the rush, cycling in the offensive zone. Sometimes you just got to hope to get lucky, throw a puck on net and crash. And Buffalo just did not play with that kind of urgency tonight.
Yeah, and to me, it does kind of beg the question if Dahlin was questionable at best to come back in this game, and you knew you weren't going to come in with the energy that you needed. Why would you play him at all and risk potentially injuring him to the point that he could be a non-factor against, arguably much more important teams to make a statement against in Vegas and Boston this week? If you know that that's like the level of effort that your team is like that's like what was foreshadowed by the practice the day before, and that that's the kind of energy that you're going into this game with, and let's not sugarcoat it. You go into a night against the Arizona Coyotes in a much different mindset than you do against a division rival or just a team that you just have an actual level of avarice towards. It's the fucking Arizona Coyotes. Like, you think you can phone it in, and they proved you wrong tonight. But more to the point, if you knew that that's the level of excellence that you were setting to go into it, don't risk making Dahlin's nagging injuries worse. Like, what are you doing? He's the best fucking defenseman on the team. And if he's out of the equation, you have a hobbled Ilya Lyubushkin and a 19-year-old Owen Power. You're just going to get steamrolled for the entire month of November if Dahlin has to sit for a legitimately long time. Like, you got to be careful. So I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. Maybe it was just the pressure that Josh Allen's questionable. They didn't want to sit Dahlin too. They didn't want Buffalo to,
I don't know,
have to call a hotline. But Jesus, that was just fucking rough. But
Captain Ed Granato needs to show some emotion with the loss. Stop coddling these guys. Players can learn to accept loss just as they can learn to earn wins. If you watch the post game, Granato didn't mince any words. He flat out held his players accountable tonight. He said he doesn't care what the stats say, and he also alluded to yesterday's practice as they had a bad practice and it showed out there tonight, and said he's not going to sit there and make any excuses. They weren't prepared to play hard in the areas they needed to win, and that is a direct reflection on their inability to get bodies to the net, get pucks to the net. And I know it sounds like it's like the fifth time I've said it since we've gone live. It's true though. That's why you lost tonight. It wasn't for an inability to create offensive chances. It's just those weren't the type of goals you were going to score tonight. And you needed to get pucks to the net and bang home a rebound or get a deflection, much like the way Arizona did. The goaltender saw way too many shots. They're like no screens. He clears a line sight or sights of line or line sights, however the hell you want to say it. He never had to struggle or fight through a screen to find a puck. And you got to make it tough on a goaltender like that, especially when you are the more skilled hockey team. You are much more talented than the Arizona Coyotes. And, you got outclassed tonight. You did. You got outclassed by a team who wanted to win a hockey game more than you did. And you have to be willing to show some urgency in certain areas of the game when you want to win. And if you're not willing to go to the net to take a beating, and again, you don't have to be that guy. You don't have to be a guy that plays with an edge to do that. You just got to want it more, and you got to want to win that bad to go to the net and, get willing to get hacked, cross-check in the back, take that beating to possibly create a scoring chance or help, put the puck in the back of the net. Again, we had 2 pucks go off our own players tonight in the net tonight. I think 2 of them on Dylan Cousins. And what was the one? The first one was like on Owen Power.
First one was Owen Power playing it off the wall. It bounces off his skate just enough that Cale Clay can't read the wall play, and then it just ends up on Larson Krause's stick.
Yeah, it's just an awkward play, unlucky play. But then they followed up with their next 2 goals. Just sending guys to the net, creating some confusion, some havoc in front in the high slot, and pucks went off Dylan Cousins' skates. Again, you can't fault Dylan Cousins for wanting to get into a shot lane, but sometimes that happens when you try and block a shot or get into a shot line or take a man out. Like that's what happened because they had men in front of the net. You sent your wingers and your centermen are trying to take them out of the play, and in doing so, they got in the way of the shot deflection in the back of your net. That's like Arizona understands that's the type of hockey team that they need to be if they want to win hockey games this year, and they did that tonight, and they won because of it. And I commend them. That's what I wanted. That's what I should have gotten out of my hockey team tonight, and I didn't.
Yeah, and I mean it's a double whammy because when you're not driving that lane in the front of the net and you're just taking shots from the outside, one, obviously the goalie's going to save it because he can see it all the way. But then when he can see it and save it all the way, he's also not giving up a fucking rebound, which doesn't even matter because if no one's in front of the net to get that rebound, a rebound is useless. So it worked. So it's just everything you don't want to be doing. You get someone in front of the net, regardless, the best case scenario is that all the goalie can really do is just hope that their body's in the right spot. It bounces off their shoulder, bounces off their chest. And then a Jeff Skinner Paterka type is standing on the fucking doorstep with those slick hands ready to bury it. Like that's what you got to do. You can't just rip 90-mile-an-hour wristers from far angles and beat a goalie 4 times a night. It worked once, but you can't do it all night. And I guess that's going to bring me to 2 thoughts that I had all night. One, what is Jack Quinn doing on the 4th line with Girgensons and Okposo? Not to say the Girgensons and Okposo are bad players, but the kind of game that they play fundamentally does not complement what Jack Quinn does in any way, shape, or form. So to have him there does not make any sense. It doesn't further Quinn's development. And if that's the only place that you can see him right now, it honestly, and I hate to say it, it would make more sense to sit him for a night and put Hinostroza in that role because Hinostroza actually provides value and a complementary game on a line with Girgensons and Okposo.
I think that Hinostroza tonight would have been a good guy to have in your lineup because he is the type of player that's going to go to the net. He's going to try and score those goals that you saw go in the back of the net for Arizona. Like he's going to be willing to take a beating and get in the more dirty areas of the ice to try and score. Like he understands that he's not a finesse player. He's not a guy like Darlene or Tage Thompson or like even Alex Tuch. Even Alex Tuch isn't more finesse. He can be finesse, but he's more just a better all-around player. But like he understands his value and why he's here. He understands why he was brought back. And that's the type of guy I think I want to see on the ice when we play Vegas tomorrow night, right? Like, I mean, like I don't need Casey Middlestat anymore, man. Like, I just don't. Like, I'm so sick of watching Casey Middlestat get knocked off fucking hockey pucks. I am so sick and tired of watching Casey Middlestat get out-muscled on the boards, behind the net, in the middle of the ice. Like, how much longer are we going to sit here and watch this guy? What, we're going to keep around because he can win a face-off? It's stupid. Like, it's dumb. I can't stand that he's even on the power play anymore. Literally, the only reason he's on that second unit because he's a face-off guy. That's literally the only reason. And it is getting so asinine to watch this guy. And I do not care what the analytics say. Like, I was talking to Joey Kahns earlier today, and I said, I understand analytics. I've said this 1,000 times. I understand analytics. I respect them. And I understand that they tell you things about a player that you maybe wouldn't realize without analytics. But arguing with somebody about analytics is like arguing with somebody about the color of the sky. They're going to sit there and tell you because of wavelengths and whatever, the color spectrum, whatever it is, that the color is purple. But you, along with every other fucking person in the world, sees blue. That's what it's like with arguing somebody who looks at hockey through that lens. It's like you see it through that lens of numbers and graphs rather than people who have literally experienced the game firsthand in their entire life and just watch the guy. He goes, that guy isn't engaging physically. That guy isn't engaging in front of the net. That guy isn't willing to help a teammate along the boards dig out a loose puck because he's too much of a wussy to go in there and get hurt and take a beating. That's what I can't deal with when it comes to Casey Middlestat, and that's why I want to see more Vinny Hinostroza. Because Vinny Hinostroza is a guy who's going to go make those plays. Vinny Hinostroza is a guy who's going to take that beating. Like, Casey's not that guy. He's just not. I don't care what the face-off percentage is. I don't care what the analytics say. I don't even think the analytics are very much in that favor of him over the last handful of games. But, like, for me, I'm just over it. I'm over it. I'm tired of seeing this guy get second-line power play minutes. I'm sick and tired of this guy, seeing him in and out of your top 6 or even your top 9. He is a bottom-line player at best right now. That's how he's performing. Either put him down there or put him up in the press box and put players out there who are going to play like they have a pair and go out there and do the things necessary to win a hockey game.
Yeah, no, that was actually going to be my immediate follow-up question is what the fuck has Casey Middlestat done to merit top 6 time? Because at the beginning of this game,
what do you think about Casey Middlestat? Shoot me in the rotation. The other guy, I didn't see that comment, but I apologize.
Yeah.
I was going to brought that up in my comment.
Yeah, because I've been trying to be a little bit less harsh on Casey. I know that he's had his injury setbacks in years past. I wanted to try to give him the benefit of the doubt here, but yeah, we're about 13 games in here, and I honestly agree. I think one, because the fourth line is in desperate need of a legitimate center, and no one can really argue that Casey Middlestat is not, a center that can win faceoffs, which is exactly what Cody Eakin did. But if anyone is going to teach Casey Middlestat how to fucking battle for pucks, how to get hard on the forecheck, how to not be a fucking soft body, it's Zemgus Girgensons and Kyle Okposo, because they are not going to fucking carry his ass around. They are going to force his ass to get to fucking work. So, yeah, get Jack Quinn off the fourth line where he's literally doing no good for anybody and put Casey Middlestat down there because I want to watch him prove that he deserves top 6 time. And the way that he can start proving that is making that fourth line grinder line, not just be Kyle Okposo and Zemgus Girgensons and whatever 13th guy they decide to rotate in that night. Like, make Casey fucking earn his keep. And I get that you want to reward the guy for sticking around for some of the worst years that we've had in recent memory. He's been here for upwards of 5 years now. I get that. I completely understand that. But at the same time, this is a team where you get what you earn, and I haven't seen him earn it this year. He's just getting these looks by virtue of veterancy, just because he's been here longer than some of these kids like Krebs and Cousins. And honestly, I love what I see out of Dylan Cousins every single night more than I've seen anything Casey Middlestat has done all fucking year. And this is coming off a game where 2 of the 4 goals came off of Dylan Cousins' fucking skates. Because he's in the lane that you're supposed to – when you're playing defense, you want that guy in front of the fucking net, making sure nobody else is going to crowd that area. Dylan Cousins is where he's supposed to be. He just had the unfortunate, situation of the shit bounce right off his skates into the net, where he's standing directly in front of Comrie and screening him. Like, there's nothing he can really do about that. But, I'm not going to knock the guy for being where he's supposed to be. But, yeah, fucking put Casey Middlestat in the center of the fourth line between Kyle Okposo and Zemgus Girgensons, 2 fucking leaders that's going to teach him how to fucking lead, because that's what you want him to be.
Middlestat to be a leader at this point. Like, I just need him. Like, I am. It's so. He's a former 8th overall pick. It's clear as day he's never going to live up to that. I just need him to go out there and be an average bottom 6 player, and he's barely doing that right now. And I'm tired of the experiment. I would much rather have, again, a Vinny Hinostroza in the lineup, or Rasmus Asplund, a guy who guys who are going to, do their best along the board or in front of either net to make their presence felt. And, Casey just fucking isn't that guy. And just, I'm done with it, man. Like, how much longer am I going to sit here and watch this guy just waste a roster spot on this hockey team?
Yeah, I mean, what's Savoy up to? Shit. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What's fucking Brandon Byro up to? Because that is a kid who is hustling hard in Rochester. Like, there is no drought of offensive talent in the pipeline here. Like, Casey Middlestat should be acutely aware that, like, even on this team of 13, his job is not secure. But even if we're not putting Hinostroza in your place, Savoy, Yuri Kulik, Brendan Byro is proving to be incredibly good down there. Like, he's one of the strongest fucking forwards. Maybe they want to give Linus Weisbach a fucking look. I don't know. Maybe they just want to put Big Brett in front of the net on the fourth line with Girgensons and Okposo again. I don't know, but something's got to give with this kid, and I'm not seeing the urgency. Like, I just don't know, man. Like, what's the point? Like, we learned with Cody Eakin, you can't just win faceoffs. That can't be the one thing you do.
No.
You have to bring more to the fucking table.
Yeah, I'm just so over the Casey Middlestat thing. Like, I don't know how much longer we got to sit here and be subjected to this crap. That's a player that nearly needs to play with more urgency, and he just doesn't. And he just constantly shows up to camp for me, in my opinion, undersized. He's a guy that's been in the league for a while now, still floating under 200 pounds. Like, again, I know he's not a very tall built guy, but like, if you want to survive in this league, you got to be able to protect the puck better than he does. And he's just so undersized. And I just don't know anymore. I'm just done with it. Now tomorrow night we got the Vegas Golden Knights. Jack Eichel returning to Buffalo for the second time since the big trade. And I said it in the Two Goalies on Mike chat earlier, like, he is on fire right now. There's no denying it. I personally had him at around 90 to 100 points before the season even started. And I think he's right on pace for that. And he's looking really good there in between Stevenson and Mark Stone. That looks like one of the league's best lines, if like a top 3, top 5 line in the league right now. And they're really driving their success. And he's coming to Buffalo, knowing and expecting the type of reaction he's going to get from the fans. So that won't come as like a culture shock to him. But, maybe he's going to play with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder because he got that type of treatment. And I can tell you right now, the fans are not going to hold anything back. No way. Especially after the comments. I mean, granted, the comments were last season. That's still fresh in everybody's minds. Between now and tomorrow, you're going to see a lot of chatter about that on social media and in the media. And I fully expect the same exact treatment of Jack Eichel, tomorrow night.
It's actually, I don't mean to correct you, but it is Thursday night, not tomorrow night.
Oh, I'm sorry, Thursday night. I apologize.
Yeah.
Thursday night.
Let's not confuse the viewers here.
I apologize. Yeah,
Thursday night, mandatory viewing, kids.
Thursday I thought it was tomorrow night. I apologize.
ESPN plus Hulu game, by the way.
Oh, so, fantastic! Yeah.
So in case you didn't already know, now you know.
Maybe
so steal somebody's password.
Hulu will probably be out of commission again for the first period, like it was last time. It was great. But yeah, he's gonna get booed a lot. He's gonna get called an asshole. He's gonna, the fans are not gonna forget, and he's gonna get treated like this for a while. But here's the thing: you can't do that and then not have your team not show up to play. You're gonna look like a clown show. So they need to take a look in the mirror after tonight. Take the next 24 hours, regroup, decide what type of hockey team they want to be from here on out, and be that hockey team. When I say figure out what type of hockey team, are you going to try and be the cute team that you were tonight that, I'm sorry, we're just not there yet. We're not that team quite yet. Or do you want to be the team that's going to play harder in the grittier areas of the ice to win hockey games and score goals? Not everything's going to be a highlight reel goal. Not everything's going to be a one-timer in trans. You know what I mean? You're not going to score off the rush every time. Sometimes you just got to do what the Coyotes did tonight, and you got to decide right now if that's the team you're going to be there this season, or if you're going to constantly make fans pull their hair out of their heads as you try to cycle the puck, play in transition and just fail over and over and over again. Take a look in the mirror, figure that out, and show up on Thursday night, and play a better hockey game. That's all I could say is just play a better hockey game than whatever that was tonight.
Yeah, looks like our buddy Captain Mayhab has another question down here. What do we think of Comrie's overall play this season? I don't have the advanced stats, but he appears to be better than Tokarski. Yeah, he's definitely better than Tokarski. Again, he's been quoted as wanting the harder matchups. Not saying that tonight was one of the harder matchups, but he wants to be thrown into the fire. He wants those shitty road games where you're up against elite talent. He wants to be put in bad situations. And also, he's going to be playing more games than Craig by virtue of Craig being 41 years old. Ultimately, again, a night like tonight, 2 of the goals were off unfortunate bounces that no goalie in the world is stopping any of those. The third one was just a classic screenshot. You can't stop a puck if you just fundamentally can't see it. And that's exactly what the Coyotes were trying to do. So I can't, and then obviously the fourth one, he wasn't even in the net. So you really can't fault him for that one. So, tonight I can't really speak on his play, but, he did make some, and that's ultimately the big thing that's touted about him is that he saves you those expected goals. He can make those big stops. He can come up big when you need him to. There have definitely been a couple games where there's maybe one where I'm like, he probably wants that one back. But a lot of the goals that I've seen him let in this year, they're usually ones where it's Hasek in his prime would have had a hard time with that one. And even he might not have stopped it. So yeah, ultimately, yeah, I do think Comrie is a vast improvement over what we've seen in a few years past. He's definitely better than Hutton. He's definitely better than Dell. He's definitely better than Tokarski. But I mean, yeah, that was his ninth start. And, for him, I will allow those excuses to be valid because, again, the first 2 goals were weird bounces that literally no goalie in the world is going to stop. The third one was a classic screenplay. That the whole point is you're not going to be able to see it, so you're not going to be in position. So, the other team did exactly what they're supposed to do, and by that virtue, there's nothing you can do about it. But yeah, overall, I'm not alarmed or concerned about Comrie, really. Again, the games that he's played have all been high-scoring affairs for both sides, so that's why his numbers on paper kind of look like shit. But when you actually watch the guy play, he's where he needs to be 99% of the time. And a lot of the goals that he's been on the receiving end of are just kind of, goals that the overwhelming majority of goaltenders in this league are going to let in just like he did. There have been I can maybe count on a hand that are oh, buddy, you got to stop that, which is far away from what we would see from Tokarski or Dell or something. We'd be how do you let that in? The beach ball memes that you'd see all the time. That's the shit that we were dealing with in years past. And we're not quite getting that with Comrie, but yeah, I mean, the numbers can be deceiving. But yeah, I'm not overall super concerned with Comrie as a goaltender. I just think, this is his first full season having that starting job. And I just think it's going to take him a sec to really find his groove. And obviously, I think not having the full D-core at, optimum efficiency is also, affecting his game, as it would any goalie. Duane?
Yeah, I look at Comrie's game, and he's making the saves he should be making. Tonight, he had a couple goals. What is he supposed to do there? You know what I mean? Again, Arizona played a game where they're throwing pucks on net and hoping what happens is exactly hoping for to happen what exactly ended up happening. Pucks go in and off either a Sabres stick or skate or one of their own. That's what happened. It's tough for a goaltender to react that quickly to a deflection happening in real time in front of you like that. And again, I have all the faith in the world in Comrie. He's played more than well enough for this team to win every night. Same thing with Andy. Both goaltenders are not the issue here at all. I think,
which is nice to say.
Yeah, it's very nice to say. It's been a while since we've been able to feel like that about our goaltending. But you just need a solid, a 60-minute effort here on Thursday night against the Vegas Golden Knights, who are coming in. I think they've just won their, I want to say it's either 6 or 8 in a row, something like that. So with that being said, you can't show up and expect to win the way you thought you were going to win tonight. You got to go out there and play a hard-nosed hockey game, much like you did when you beat Vegas last year. In a game that I truly believe changed the culture of this organization. So if you expect to come out successful Thursday night, even with the game being at home, you're on a national stage with ESPN again, and I guess you can call it a national stage if you subscribe to the apps. But probably, excuse me. But with that being said, you have to come ready to play, which I feel like that's common sense, and be ready to win in areas that you weren't willing to win in tonight, and that's the dirty areas in front of the net, behind the net, in the corners. Take a beating to make a play, and if you want to win a hockey game on Thursday night against one of the hottest teams in the NHL, those are the things you're going to have to do because they are much more talented than you.
Yeah, it's again, I think because everybody in that, not just Jack Eichel, but the whole team kind of knows what to expect this time around. They know that the energy is just going to be at a whole nother level, and they've been playing their game, at the level that we've normally seen Vegas play at. I think they're going to be much more ready for it this time around. Because the team that we saw last March was a struggling Vegas Golden Knights team that was genuinely questioning whether or not they might make the playoffs, and as we saw, they didn't at the end of all that. So they were a team. I don't want to say like an existential crisis, but they were definitely having a little bit of an identity crisis at that time. But this is definitely a team that has shit dialed in as of right now. Pretty much every single person you want to see be active is active. They're everybody on the blue line is where you want, Alec Martinez, Pietrangelo, McNabb, Theodore, Haig, White Cloud. That first line, as you already quoted, is still absolutely insane. A second line of Carlson, Martha Show, and Smith. And just that really impressive fourth line that's going to definitely give Buffalo some fucking grief of Nicholas Roy, Keegan Colasar, and Will Carrier.
I love Keegan Colasar.
Yeah,
love Keegan Colasar.
Fucking Keegan Colasar.
That's the type of player like him.
Yeah, that's just something else to consider too. That you're going to have to play a much more physical game than you've had to play against pretty much any team all year.
Why I want to see a guy like Jonas Stroza back in the lineup. Not that he's a huge answer to a Keegan Colasar.
Yeah, he's not afraid to get at it.
Yeah, he's not afraid to get after it. And, we need guys like him in the lineup if we expect to stand a chance against Vegas. So, and you definitely needed to go into that game with some momentum, which you didn't after tonight. So, any final thoughts, Steve, before we sign off here?
Yeah, I know Donnie likes to be a nice guy, but I honestly hope that he skates this team fucking hard because I think I agree with our buddy Captain Ahab here. I think there do need to be some consequences for losing a game like that in a fashion like that. And if they're not I'm sure every single individual player is hanging their head down in shame. Like they know that's not their game.
They know.
But I think that as a group, they need to, take their lumps, skate some suicides, just get fucking dogged and just, put in that work. Because, yeah, obviously you're going to play against the Vegas Golden Knights, and that's a big statement game. But then 2 nights later, guess what? You're playing against the Boston Bruins, and they're just the opposite side of that coin on the eastern side. And guess what? They play fucking physical too. So get ready to get hit, get ready to throw a hit, get ready for a scrap to turn into a Tilly. Don't shy away from it. This is going to be these are going to be some hard games, and these are going to be the kinds, I hate saying it, but it's true. These are statement games. This is what's going to set you apart from just being another team that's going to be on the outside looking in, or a team that can really go for it. At the very least, be in the hunt, constantly be chomping at somebody's heels, making them worried that, oh, if I lose one too many games, they just might steal that spot come April. I don't want to, and right now we're almost at a 500 record. We're 7-6 right now.
Yeah.
5-3, 14 points, 5-3, 8 in 13 games. Yeah. This is where the slump usually happens for Buffalo, and that's why come New Year's Day, we're already mathematically eliminated pretty much.
Yeah.
We can't prove to us that you're a different team by getting the W's when we don't expect you to get the W's by being the better team. We know that overall your opponents are just better, more experienced players. We're not stupid. We understand this. But that doesn't mean that you can't be the better team on one night, which is exactly what Arizona just did. Yep. We know that they're a shittier team from top to bottom than Buffalo, but they were, in fact, the better team tonight. Yep. So you need to go embarrass Vegas and Boston the same way you just got fucking embarrassed tonight. And if you're not coming in with that energy, sit in the fucking press box. I don't want you lacing up.
Yeah, I 1000% agree. You can't afford to put, have another effort like tonight against Vegas. There's gonna be so much energy in that arena. The fans are gonna show up for you, without a doubt, on Thursday night, for obvious reasons. That arena is gonna have a ton of energy in it, a lot of cheering and a lot of booing. So you can't. Not saying that they would use that as an excuse, but you guys need to feed off that energy, and you guys need to translate that on the ice and just go out there and win a hockey game, grind it out. Be physical, win puck battles. Don't worry about making the fancy play or being too cute. Trying to make that extra pass. Get pucks on net. And crash, you know what I mean? Bang at rebounds. That's the biggest reason why you lost tonight is, the Arizona Coyotes were willing to do that tonight and you weren't. It was the one thing that I watched in that game is outside of just seeing us completely embodied in the neutral zone and not winning puck battles there, not being able to enter the zone cleanly. And even exiting our own zone, it was funny to watch sometimes. But you have to play a hard-nosed, blue-collar game on Thursday if you expect to come out of that with a win. But with that being said, Steve, any predictions for Thursday night?
I think that's going to be the first game of ours that finally goes to overtime. Every single other matchup this year has been actually, wait, not. Did we get I think we got a one game went to overtime, right? The Chicago game, I want to say. And we won that in overtime. Yeah. So I think this is going to be the second one that goes to overtime, and I don't know. I want to hear some good. I honestly don't know. It could really go either way at this point. I think that's a team that Buffalo knows that you just absolutely cannot lose a game against. Now or pretty much ever again while Jack Eichel is a part of that team. You're just not allowed.
You have to at least come out and skate your balls off and really maximum effort, right? Give 110%, all the cliche sayings. That has to be on full display on Thursday night. So you definitely don't want to give the effort you gave tonight in a game as important to fans as what Thursday night's going to be. So with that being said, Steve, thanks for hopping on, bud. It's always a pleasure. Remember, guys, this is brought to you by Outlet Liquor, the place to buy a case over on Georgian Boulevard. Get over to Outlet Liquor for your Sabres game night and Bills game day needs. Get better, Josh Allen. And let's just put this one in the rearview mirror. And I'll hang up and listen. And let's go Sabres.